Hello and welcome back to Let's Get the Neighbors Talking. I'm Courtney.
I'm Lauren.
We are from Moon and Stone and we're here to talk with Katie White.
Yes, we're so excited. So, Katie White is the founder and CEO of Strong Brand Social. She has built a multi-million-dollar company by doing the exact opposite of what people in marketing tell you to do. You don't have to post every day, you don't have to chase trends, and you don't have to sell your soul to the algorithm. She's also someone who has deeply impacted the way that we run our business. I always say, I wonder where Moon and Stone would be right now without Katie and her team's expertise and knowledge. Her approach helped us step off the content treadmill, get intentional, and build more with clarity and less chaos, which is our jam. But what's really got us talking is the way she's built her business without sacrificing her peace, her sanity, her weekends, and how she's promoting that to her team. We're so excited for this conversation, and we're so happy that Katie has agreed to be on this podcast with us. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for that intro. That was so nice. I'm so
Yes.
I just love watching you two online. So much joy, so much fun, and proof that we can do business differently. Yeah.
We can. It's
Thank
awesome.
you. I think you are Lauren's second favorite person
Oh my gosh.
in the whole world.
Honored.
I am not joking.
Are you the first?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the first.
Sorry, Andy. You're out.
I'm the first, Katie second. No, the way that you have impacted the company has been amazing, but really, Lauren, major girl crush on you.
Totally.
And no shame in her game.
No, never.
She cannot be cool about that.
I feel the same. I'm so
Yay.
I wish our listeners could actually see our DMs back and forth on Instagram.
It's very funny.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's very funny. And they're always at like super weird times, like 3 a.m., 4:30 a.m., like maybe it's 7 a.m. Like it doesn't, yeah, exactly. Will you tell the listeners a little bit about you and your background and all of your things?
Yeah. So let's see. I'll start with where I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting in Ireland right now. And I am looking at the Atlantic Ocean. It's gorgeous. So,
Oh my God.
yeah. So I am, my background is I've been the founder and CEO of Strong Brand Social, I guess, for 5 years now. I founded my business 8 years ago. I was just another marketing girly in corporate that was trying to figure out why she was so miserable. And really at the end of the day, like when I started my business, it was just about trying to figure out how to honor myself, give myself what I thought I deserved, which, everything from just sort of like whether you're talking about your paycheck or just the lifestyle and how we're living day to day. And so that journey has been a long one, but it started 8 years ago. And so now here I am. My husband and I and my dog have been traveling around Europe for the last few years, kind of touching back and forth between the US and Europe when we want to go see our families and all of that good stuff. But it's been a huge adventure. And really a story. I know what we want to get into today. It's just like how to manage it all and how to stay on track and how to avoid burnout and all of that. And really, I feel like my story over the past several years has just been has been about how to give myself what I need to stay sane and happy, so
That's a hard thing to do and to make the leap. And I also it's hard because it's like we're innately like taught like you shouldn't be happy and work is work and you have to do this and this and that, but it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
But like what sparked for you like 8 years ago that you were like something has to change? Because typically it's like a big thing, which unfortunately that sucks, is that it always has to be something like major that makes you make the change,
like hitting rock bottom.
Yeah.
I remember so for the first several years of my business, like I think a lot of people you're like trying to get into it and you're looking for leadership and you're sort of setting goals, and maybe before you are really embodying like what you want out of your own life, you're still borrowing sort of versions of goals and what this is going to look like for other people. And I think I got into that a little bit as I was as I was kind of defining what success looked like for me. I essentially woke up one day, had accomplished that goal and was miserable. And I mean, really, my therapist and I always talk about the first time that her and I met because I was like scheming to go just burn it all down and wake up on a deserted island. And she was like, let's just slow it down a little bit, you know? But that really was like the moment where it was just sort of like, I kind of had a moment where I was kind of like, I'm going to give this, what I'm doing at the time, which was the business, kind of like one more year. And I obviously need to change the way I'm doing things and change the way I'm working and change the way I'm living. I'll give it kind of a little bit more time and see if some of the changes that I make change the way I feel, right? And so that's exactly it. It's this question I was thinking about, you know, it's this question of how we work. Like we, as much as we can internally know and work on our knowing that our productivity does not define our value, here we are, like in this society that we have come up in, that we are placed in, right? It's like there is some level of productivity is tied to my ability to feed myself and house myself and clothe myself, but I get to make choices about what that's going to look like, right? And what that's going to look like day to day, and how I'm going to be as I'm sort of taking care of business, so to speak. And so I think that's really been the journey, is just about constantly checking in with yourself, right? Not overriding, having conversations, making space to hear yourself think and talk and all that good stuff.
How do you check in with yourself? Like what do you do to be like is it something that you, I mean, you're so busy, you guys, like
Yeah.
Katie is like, she hosts these, but you got to check out Strong Brand Social, and like she hosts webinars and seminars with like thousands of people, and like, I mean, she's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a big deal. Listen, she's not my girl crush for no reason. Okay.
Love
She's
it.
my girl crush because she's a big deal. So how do you?
And,
What?
um, you know, I think that this sounds so basic, but it's really true. Like the very first thing is making space, which I know none of us think that we have, right? Like we have families, we have so many we just have like the crushing weight of, you know, modern responsibilities.
Yeah.
And then you crank that up, like if you're an entrepreneur or if you have a heavy, you know, like if you just have a lot going on, it can feel really hard to create space. But when we talk about things like being able to listen to yourself or follow your heart or create space and time for play and for rest, it's like where do all of these things start? It starts with just like boxing out some time for yourself. And I was talking to a teammate yesterday because I'm constantly in conversations with my teammates. Like I feel really blessed because I've been through entrepreneurship really gifted an opportunity to work with incredible women and mentors who have showed me, you know, this path of what we're talking about today. And I know that my life has been so changed by these opportunities that I've had to kind of like unplug in the name of entrepreneurship, right? It's easy to go on a mastermind retreat because it's like supposedly going to impact your bottom line. That's easier than taking a vacation, for example. And so over the last few years, I've been able to like access some of that space through under this guise of productivity, right? I wouldn't have made that space in the first place, and then been able to experience firsthand what that actually does to my brain, to my body, to my spirit, right? To this like overall sense of alignment. And so it's something we talk a lot about on our team because we work with mostly women as well. These are mothers and, you know, people with a lot of responsibilities outside of what they're bringing to the workplace. And so I'm always trying to like nurture these conversations internally as well. And yesterday I was talking to a team member who I'm really trying to get to take some time for herself. And I was, you know, giving her some ideas and she was like, but how? Like how? And I was like, that right there, that how that has a question mark on it needs to become a how with an explanation behind it. Like we need to figure out how and define how. If we need help from our partners, if we need help from our family, right? It starts with being like, okay, I need 30 extra minutes in the morning. What do I need from other people to do that, right? Like maybe we don't start with the week-long vacation, but in the day to day, where are the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes? Where is the hour that you can say no to something and say yes to yourself? Like you guys are so good at doing it, creating that moment in the day to meditate, to sit down. It's wild when you start to actually when you can see what a difference 5 minutes makes. in just quieting things down and how that feels inside. So I really think it's like to even hear, we're all so different and we all need different things, but every single one of us needs more space to be able
Mhm.
to hear what that
Yeah.
is that we need. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's always the starting point. Anytime I'm starting to feel like it's almost counterintuitive, right? Anytime you're starting to feel like the pressure, like, how am I going to get this done? How am I get this done? That's the moment I have to stop doing and like look at the calendar and be like, what has to go to
Mhm.
next week or what is actually not essential. It's so wild how the busier we get, the more we just start saying yes to things that actually aren't like part of our path and our mission. So it's like this weekly, daily practice, right? I'm sure you guys have that too, where it's just like auditing, what did I say yes to? What can I actually do? And just trying to be, give yourself the same space that you would give other people.
I think rest looks different to a lot of people. And
Yeah.
and I think that gets confusing too. I was actually just listening to another podcast on rest yesterday, and the woman was speaking of the fact that you have to be open to what kind of rest works for you. And that might not be a nap. That's not what she's talking about. That might be meditation, but also might be sitting down and watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and how important not only it is to productivity, but it's just important to being a human being. It's
Yes.
important to being like a complete person, and that rest actually used to be something that was very much admired in your
Right.
life if you were able to rest. And now
Now there's shame. And now
now
you're not
it's
resting the
shame.
right way. Like, it's wild.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and all of a sudden, then rest becomes this like, yeah, topic for debate or something that you have to actually convince yourself to let others be wrong about you because you know the way you need to rest, right? Yeah.
It is so crazy too. Like just when you were saying, the busier you are, the more it's like more, 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 more. And to get your brain to snap out of that and to be like, hey, like this is too much. But it is like when you get busier, more things come on your plate. You're just like, okay, okay, okay. Like I got to do this. I got to do that. Like the age old saying, like
Yeah.
if you need something to get done, you ask the busiest person you know
Yep.
because you can't get out of it. So it does take mental strength and like
Yeah.
training to
Yeah.
have like meditation, right? To be able to stop a thought process, but to be able to take a step back and be like, okay, like I need to make some space so that I can listen.
Everything we're talking about, like the way that you started where we were talking about work and like, oh, we've been told it has to look this way or rest. Now we're told it has to look this way. It's like all of this has to do with rewiring neural pathways. Like
Mm-hmm.
creating
Mm-hmm.
space to think for yourself, to actually feel what feels good and right to you, and then actually do the work of interrupting toxic thought patterns that aren't serving you and charting that new path forward. So I feel like that's also something that's so important is to be patient with the journey, right? It's not linear. It's like I'll think that I've figured out this new habit, and then like a week later, I wake up, I'm like, oh, why do I feel like shit? Because I stopped doing that thing. But so yeah, it's humbling.
And I mean, you're proof. Like you are proof. Like you created a multi-million-dollar company doing it the way you want to do it. And you guys, Katie travels because it's important to you to
Yeah.
travel, right? And to explore, and you're adventurous, and you and your husband are.
Yeah.
And I mean, last year they wanted to go skiing. Last year, you guys were what, in the south of France running your
Yeah.
business? Now
Yeah.
you're in Ireland. Like you created it.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
able to do it, and like not without struggle and doubt and fear and all of that, but like you did it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love the saying, like, choose your hard. Have you ever heard that? You get to choose your
Hmm.
hard. Like, nothing is easy like, life is just never
Hard.
going to be easy, but we get to choose. So, a lot of the ways that, I definitely, it's like the life that I'm living today is definitely the life that, like, little Katie wanted to be living, right?
Oh, I
And, like,
love that.
that I know for sure. And then, but yeah, it's sort of like once I was first getting into business, I lost sight of that. And then I started to get back in touch with that. But then, of course, it's like, it's not just me. I have a family, I have other stakeholders in my life if I decide. And so negotiating, everything that we've done over the last few years has really been a practice of like staying connected to the why of
Mm.
why I'm waking up every day and doing this work, or why, we've chosen to grow our business, and all of the sacrifices that kind of come with that. And it's also really impacted, staying true to sort of what I want this to look like, while keeping our clients at the forefront, while keeping like the team really well supported, right? It's all this really interesting dance that none of it would be possible if you weren't in the first place. Like, what do I want this to look like? Because that kind of stuff doesn't come together accidentally. Like, this sort of life doesn't come together accidentally. And so it's been a lot of, I don't know, just trying to get intentional. And so much of what we're talking about, of continuing to touch back and create space to hear yourself think. It is so hard for us to hear ourselves think.
It is. And I love too what you said, when little Katie would be so proud. So that is something that I do. Like, when I get overwhelmed in business and in life with my family and my kids and, running a business and just, letting life gets up there. One of my favorite gratitude practices is being, and I will manifest, and when I'm manifesting and writing this, but that I have right now everything I wanted when I was a kid.
Yes.
Every single thing. And it is hard. Like you said, like it's hard, but like that bringing that feeling of gratitude, even when it is a lot, even when it is hard, like it's pretty damn cool.
And when that, how, for me at least, sorry to like keep bringing it back to this, but I find it's like, it really is in those moments. Like, you can't feel the gratitude when you're moving a mile a minute. Like, it's always in that moment that I took to take a breath and look around, that I'm like, oh, okay. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm living beyond my wildest dreams. Like, the gratitude doesn't come when you're just saying yes to everybody but yourself,
The creativity doesn't come when you're moving too fast either. I mean, we always, because you get tripped up and you make mistakes and you get busy anyway, and then you crash and burn. And I think that when Lauren and I are in a moment where we're like, God, why aren't we creative? Or like, why are things stalling? And it's like, oh, that's because we're moving too fast.
It's because I'm taking the lead.
That's actually 100% true. If she would just let me like mix my candles and like play in the corner, we'd be fine. But somebody's got to take the lead on some. But I just think, a lot of people forget that creativity comes in those spaces in between, and that space between the breath, and so does that peace and calm. But you can't move your business, I think, really probably any business, without that creative space, because it all takes creativity.
And it can go beyond business. Like, you can't move like your life and your joy and your happiness, like, if you're not connected to those energies.
Change the like how from a question into a path if you don't have the space to think about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people struggle with the how.
So,
how do you take space? How do you rest? How, when it's not anything maybe you were taught or know much about,
or you feel shame about.
Shame.
Oh my God. I mean, I can remember, I stayed home with my 3 kids. Sorry. And I remember taking a nap with one foot on the floor, because my husband worked from home, in case like he came down, and he didn't care that I napped. Like, I'm a huge napper, like under the covers, like passing out. He didn't care, but it was me. It was like an internal me thing.
Yeah.
And then I would like pop up and be like, oh, I'm doing a whole bunch of things.
I know. Yeah. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Here.
I don't know, but changing.
Yes.
Yeah, and change takes time. And one of our little DM chats at 3 a.m. was how that our souls are we chose to be here at this time.
Yes.
Our souls decided, so this is, okay, let's get the neighbors talking. Let's talk about something weird. Here's weird, okay? I'm incorporating weird in, okay?
We all chose to be here at this time of transition and change.
So we're here for a reason, and like, it doesn't, and I always think too, like, okay, like, there's so much wrong going on in the world, right? And like, here I am in my little corner with my best friend, and we're selling these amazing, highly energetic crystals that are helping people. And I'm like, is that enough? And I'm like, yeah, That's
Mhm.
enough, because that's for me, not
Yeah.
like to lead a resistance against like,
Yeah.
I don't know everything. But like, that's what you feel sometimes. You're like, I'm not doing enough.
I
You
know.
are.
When in real, and I was just talking to my friend about this morning, and it's like, this morning was one of those mornings where I woke up and I was just like, oh, it just your perspective. It's really, I feel like for me, it can be easily shaken these days. But there's that. It's like you being miserable, or you playing someone else's game, or you beating yourself up because you're not doing something else. Like, none of that is making the world a better place, right? But like your joy that ripples out to your family, right? Like your community, you as living proof that joy is possible in
Mhm.
2025, right? And living proof. I mean, like I was talking, my friend that I was speaking with is actually inside a Strong Brand Social Club as well. And I was telling her I was going to be speaking with you too. And she was just like, what they're doing, like showing up every day, visibly having so much fun with each other, spreading joy and happiness, like, is so impactful. And so yeah, so it is. You're always I feel like I always get messages from you right when I need them. You know what I mean? Just keep going, just keep going. It's like, but it's true. It's and sometimes I think we're living in this, like, we're all so connected, more connected than ever before, but are we really, right? And a lot of times, when I was in London last week, or actually it was this week, it was just this week, um, with some friends, and they were reflecting back to me. It's like, not until I get together with people in real life where, that voice can be like, is what I'm doing enough? Like, or is this? And then you see folks and they're like, you have been doing such a good job modeling fun. They're like, we need more fun. And they're like telling me about the impact that I've been having on them. And you just like, you kind of forget, And so I think it's like the world today needs as many people following their joy as humanly possible, right? Like, if we are privileged enough to have a chance at that, to fill up our cups and the cups of others by following our heart and like doing things in a way that just feels good to us, not because someone else said it's supposed to be that way. Like, the world just needs more of that.
Do you, I mean, it's just ringing so true to me that what you believe for yourself shows through in how you guide people in business, how you're looking at the world is you're seeing the change in the world and you're reflecting that back
Yeah.
to guiding people in social media and in marketing.
Yeah.
And that's such a shift. Like, it's so great that both of your worlds line up. Like,
Yeah.
I know Lauren and I's worlds line up, but like
Yeah.
when you can be who you are and also teach that as part of a business plan
Yeah.
is fantastic, to be able to be
Yeah.
your whole self. Like,
Yeah.
that's an important thing to show people.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts about being a small business owner, is like, we
Mhm.
didn't like start our businesses 30 or 40 years ago, build huge customer bases that then sort of now we're entering like a new era, and you don't want to say, like, it's like, no, being a small business, you get to choose. There's tons of people to do business with. You get to choose. If you're the truer you are to yourself, the more aligned your customers are going to be. And
Mhm.
I think there's this, it's just another lie, right? That like, you can't lead with values in business. That's just another should that we can throw out, and that's been definitely like, I don't know how I would do it otherwise, right? When we talk about, I think about how, like, what it takes to sustain this journey is alignment. Like, the
Mhm.
moment that you're out of alignment is the moment that you become miserable, right? So, I always think sometimes when I'm really I think like when I'm out of alignment, I feel that. And it's like always in that moment that it's like, so I got to bring something in here. And it's always in just like reaching out values first to our community, that it's like, oh, clicked it right back in. So
Mhm.
I feel so grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's that's why your business works. Is
Yeah.
because you are authentic. You are, that's a hard thing to say. You are authentic. You try saying that.
You
You
just nailed
are
it, though.
authentic. Well, now I can say it because you said it first.
You, you modeled it perfectly.
But that's why our business works,
Yeah.
because we're authentic. I did that better. We're showing our true selves.
Yeah.
We are, showing these pieces that have, changed our lives, and we want to share that with other people, and we want other people to feel the same, which is why we've been successful at business. But I do want to touch base back quickly to the how, because I do feel that our listeners, this is the biggest thing that they do struggle with,
Yeah.
is the how. How do I create more space? How do I take that question mark off and make it like a period? Like how? Like,
Yeah. How? I think, well, one of the biggest things is like you have to start small, right? You can't just be like, I'm leaving for a week, like see you later, right? So I do think that it's, for some people, it's going to be, I don't know, an example would be waking up 15 minutes earlier or sleeping in 15 minutes later. Like, can we start with 15-minute increments? You know
and
what
I
I
love how you just said that. That's different for people.
Yeah.
So some people you will benefit more for getting up 15 minutes earlier. Some people you will benefit from sleeping in 15 minutes. Like that is wrong.
That's the first rule of how is actually, this has been coming up a lot, is how much we need to, the life skill of letting people be wrong about you. And like because I think sometimes when we're trying to fit ourselves into these boxes, right? Oh no, it should be 15 minutes earlier. If I sleep 15 minutes later, then I'm lazy, right? It's like, if we aren't willing to be our own best friend, right? And let anyone else be wrong about us, then we're never going to get there. Like, we really do have to make a commitment to ourselves to being the friends and the ally, like, right? Like, we are the only people that are going to have to live with ourselves till the day we die. And I think that relationship with ourself really requires that patience, that awareness, like constantly calling in, like, what would I tell my best friend to do? You know, that is such a good go-to. Like, I'm, and what would I tell my best friend to do, and what feels good in my body? And if I start to have, those really well-conditioned reactions to something that I'm doing, really interrogating that, like, where is that coming from? What is mine and what is not mine? I think that comes up a lot. Like, we can talk about the tactics of 15 minutes and meditation, but it's like, when you actually get on the path of trying to give yourself more time, all of this is going to come in and feel like it's attacking you, right? All of the doubts, all of the like comparison, why do I need this time? This person doesn't look like they're resting at all, right? All of that is going to rear its head. And so I think there's this parallel path we need to be taking. That's like the tactics of like, no, I can cancel a meeting. That's like a tangible thing that I can do. But then what happens on the other side of that is going to require me to have my own back, and I think it's like we can't do it without both of those parts. Yeah.
I love that you said you have to have your own back, because I think that is, I often think the best friend scenario too. And what would my friend say to me, or how would she treat me? Would she give me a hug, or would she say like, yeah, you are a piece of shit, you should get up?
I would never
Like,
say that.
Exactly.
It's like, don't say that about my friend.
Exactly. So like, I think it's remembering, that is so important, but also to have your own back, to back it up. Like, I think that's something even I forget. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, but are you going to beat yourself up? Because then it might not have been worth it for you to cancel that meeting. If then on the flip side, you're going to beat yourself up.
Right. I think about too, like, there's no replacement, I don't think, for this is a practice. It's not something you do once. Listening to yourself, noticing when you're out of alignment, noticing when you don't feel good, creating space to hear yourself, trusting the voices that you're hearing. All of that is a practice, right? I remember when I started my business, there were like people in my family that like I had to like remove myself from for a few months, because like I was trying to do this thing and they didn't get it. And I shared my dreams with them and they had nothing supportive to say. And that has happened, so many times. One of the things that I've really been working on is this letting people be wrong about me. I've just noticed this pattern in my life where I really am a people pleaser. And so I'm constantly seeking validation. Like, it might not sound that way, but I'll tell someone about my plans that I'm really excited about beforehand. And I get upset if their reaction isn't supportive, right? And how many times in my life has that happened with people who are close to me, can be family. And then I've noticed it's like, but then I just do the thing anyway. Like, I I go ask for permission. It doesn't work out. I spend lots of time in struggle, beating myself up. And then eventually, because I just have to be aligned, I go do the thing anyway. And then I'm happier than I've ever been. And then the people that love me come along. Right. And they're all of a sudden. And so I've just started to realize it's like, I don't know. One way to look at it is if someone hates my idea, it must be a good one. Like, I'm like, let's reframe this. But I think it's like having compassion for ourselves in that process, because especially as women, right? I'm sure most of your customers are women. It's like we just have been told so many things, and we still are held accountable to so many things that are not ours. And so it's really, I think it's one of like the most beautiful parts of being a human and living this life, is getting to, like, all of the best things are on the other side of the relationship you're building with yourself and the permission that you're giving to yourself. You know what I mean? It's just like, though, that's the key.
How lucky are we that Katie's our boss?
I like just got chills. Like, wow.
How lucky are we?
Wow. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, it's incredible to hear to hear somebody speak so highly about their love for themselves, honestly. Like you don't get that a lot. You get a lot of people who are self-deprecating or beating themselves up,
She's taken time.
Yeah.
It takes time. And the thing is like when you first start to create the space, a lot of times it's not comfortable.
No.
It takes time to like have
the highest self speaking. Okay. Right? Like, it's like, that's what I mean by it's a practice. It's like like a single day can be a roller coaster, but like, it's like, that knowing that, like, at the end of the day, all we have is ourselves, and each other. But like, really, like, we're the only ones that have to live with the decisions we make, the life we build. And I think in terms of the how, like, I think sometimes we don't know how, because we don't even know, like, because our society is like, we only see all the shiny finished projects, right? We only see the overnight success. And so I think the how is like also in large part being willing to take one step at a time, right? Like, being willing to interrupt the thing that's not feeling good before you necessarily know what you're going to replace with it, right? It's like, I think that part of just, even the first step of being able to admit if something doesn't feel right, and be vulnerable in that, because I think we're told that we're just supposed to be grateful for everything we have. You know what I mean? Regardless of whether or not we're happy. And so I don't know. I think about that a lot for maybe if somebody's listening and is like, I have no idea like how I would get from here to there. I mean, at first it's just deciding that you're not going to tolerate
bullshit,
bullshit and stuff that's not making you happy. Yeah. Like, and I don't know. Yeah. But it is a practice, right? It's like, I can be very self-deprecating as well.
Well, we don't see it. But I think, not knowing what comes next is okay.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what people need to remember, is not knowing what the next step is the next step.
It is.
The next step is the unknown, and sitting with it and being there and loving yourself through that. Because I truly believe what you need will be put in front of you, and the universe is going to guide you. They're going to plant little things and your intuition to let you know. But if the outside noise is so strong, then you're never going to hear it. I'm just thinking about what your business does and how you think that this shift in perspective is affecting social media, because there is a shift. We went from do, busy, like more info, more, more technology, more apps, all of this, which, you guiding the shift in perspective, but also being in social media and marketing, like, how do you see the shift aligning with you?
Yeah, I think I think that the biggest, like, the way that we think about the strategies we want to empower our clients with, or our take on social media, it is really interesting. We're like starting to see so many more people in the space be like, you don't have to post every day. And we're like, oh, okay, now this is moving in this direction. Um, and I think that's really good. And at the end of the day, for us, yeah, it always really has been more about what our clients need. I think in the social media space, right, it's the media, and like the social media industry is just like a big industrial complex, like so many other industrial complexes. And so for us, I think it was like less of a shift and more of like always this laser focus on like, what do our clients actually need? So it's like social media is this space that just, if you look at a lot of advice that's given, it's not about the small business owner, right? It's about tactics, about things that like make the platforms more money themselves. So I think it's that is like an example of like how practicing saying no to bullshit in your personal life can carry into your business, right? It's like it's how everything is, so it just ripples. And so yeah, I feel like that's really just what we do. Is it's like we're giving our clients and staying focused. We're saying keeping our game focused on like on ourselves. Like what does our business actually need? What does our client actually need? How can we meet up and show them that? Like these tools are here to serve that mission. We're not here to just be on social media, right?
You're here to be intentional, which I think is what you teach every day in your business, is being
life
intentional.
Is so precious. Yeah, life is so precious. I remember when I started my business, I had worked for two really great companies, and I had been in corporate for almost 10 years. I think 8 years. But like there was also a lot wrong. And I just remember looking around, having a lot of friends that were also at great brands. And it's like, why do so many great places to work that should be great places to work kind of suck to work at? Right. And it's mostly because like middle management is miserable. Right. And when you look at like why are so many workplaces toxic? Why are so many industries XYZ? It's like it all comes down to the human level. It's all pointing back to like humans that aren't taking care of themselves, right? Like, and at the end of the day, our businesses are our customers are people, right? So it's like everything. It's like taking care of ourselves is always going to pay off, right? It's always going to pay off. Whether we're talking about creative strategy for content or business strategy, I don't know. There's nothing but upside.
That's the number one.
Yeah.
Like we literally just figured out the key.
Full circle.
We just figured out the key to life. You have to give yourself a big hug. You have to take care of yourself. You have to love yourself.
Yeah.
And that will just ripple and change your entire world.
The best friend hack. The best friend hack is really good.
I like to do it too. If you have a daughter, what would you tell your daughter?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, luckily you're here sitting next to me most all day, every day. So I can really just ask you.
Well, Katie's
in person.
Sorry, Katie's my new best friend now. I'm sorry.
Well, she's your 4 a.m., like 7 a.m. person. I'm not going to be that gal.
Okay. Well,
I'm sleepy.
You might have to start upping your game, Courtney. You got some stiff competition.
Oh my God, I cannot compete. There's no question. No, please don't make me.
Third wheel. I'm happy. Happy with that.
We're gonna come to you.
Yeah, 100%. Wherever you are, we're coming.
Oh my gosh.
I remember you had a retreat once. Didn't you have a retreat?
Yeah.
And Lauren was like, "Oh God, I wish we could go to Portugal."
Yeah.
Like I should just do another retreat to try to get Courtney and Lauren there.
Totally.
It's fun. I think you told me next one.
We can just have a retreat, the three of us, Katie. Don't worry.
That works for me.
Courtney will have to stay back.
Okay. And another way, this podcast took a nice weird turn.
I've been talking, okay?
Totally. 100%. Katie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Your insights in this conversation we just had was absolutely incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was just what we needed.
Thank you for having me. That's what I needed too.
Okay. Listen up, everybody, and definitely subscribe, follow along, because it's fun and funny and inspiring and informational. Courtney, what do you have to say?
I don't know. Thank you, Katie.
themselves.
Thank you.
Yes. See you next time.
Yes.
Bye.